Okay, I'll do the best I can. I don't know if the last one that I did, I can make into a short. I'm trying to keep things under 3 minutes. I have more to say, but in less to say, but in more increments. I'm learning how to do this. I feel like a news journalist, so to speak. Okay, bottom line, the two things I do not deny, that I was guilty and things that I was guilty of. Will I sign and will I admit to things that I was guilty of? Yes, what I was guilty of, not what you had told me that I was guilty of. I'm not signing your idolatry package. I'm not signing the idolatry package. I'm not going to even give it glory by calling it idolatry. I will not sign, that I was Satan, that I was an evil spirit, because I didn't want to go for counseling and deliverance, because I didn't want to be reminded of things that I was trying to forget. And I didn't need counseling and deliverance related to that. I was guilty of other things. I needed to deal with what I was guilty of. And also, that's just like in the hospital when they diagnosed me with diabetes and a brutal back infection. That's what I was there for. They wouldn't tell me that I needed brain surgery. You might challenge that and you might question that. But how that would be a malpractice for them to say that I need to take care of this, but then that I need something that I don't need. Same identical thing. What I was guilty of, and walking by and passing by, driving by Spencer Street also, and where I used to live, and different memories that are coming up and stuff. Yes, that, and especially we're dealing with a different time frame and different time zone, because that was within that year when the wound was fresh after the loss of the movie, and the way but it had affected me so much because it was a multiple, I can't show you on my arm now, but it was a multiple fracture on an area which had already been a wounded area. Okay, we'll get into that. But it would have been easier instead that when I was living there in Spencer Street, you were right across the street from me. Where I used to walk by Del Amo Mall, where I used to work at that Kentucky Fried Chicken, shop at that Albertsons. But it looks like it wasn't happening. It was God's way of saying, nope, that the door was closed because there was so much anger. It would have been easier to have forgiven them. It wouldn't have been automatic at the age of 23. But if I had started at that time the best way I knew how, maybe God would have allowed, while we were still friends, for me to be at your meeting, which was across the street I'm looking here at the Doubletree Hotel, 5 blocks within 5 years, what I call. So the dude's name is Otis, and my mom put her friend and him together. He broke up the friendship. It was the wound was real, but still, if I had been able to forgive it, God would have brought you back in my life.